Hi, in last video I left off with the volume envelope and volume LFO explained, but all the other stuff in this mysterious ENV/LFO panel unexplained. We've been using the Bit Invader plugin, which just takes the drawing you have and makes that the oscilloscope wave. And we showed that these things affect the volume. Now, another thing you can do to a wave is apply a filter to it. To see what a filter does, it helps to be able to look at a spectrogram and not just an oscilloscope. Well, we don't get a classic spectrogram, we do get a spectrum analyzer, which is like the lines on a graphic equalizer-y deal. We can see that whatever note I'm playing, there's a spectrum of frequencies. And that spectrum of frequencies is a different way of seeing information about what the note sounds like compared to the oscilloscope. You can see very easily the lower notes are more left. We'd also see that a pure sine wave is just showing up one little bit of the analyzer. Whereas a square, a triangle, or square or saw wave shows up a lot more spread out. Also, for the waves that are spread out more, notice that whatever note I'm hitting here with this square wave, there's a lot going on to the right of it and not to the left. That's because a note's harmonics are all at multiples of its fundamental frequency. What is going on to the left is more because of implementation details in Bit Invader and mathematical inaccuracies, and less the real sound of the note as designed to sound. Which doesn't mean they're unimportant. Artifacts like that are a part of the sound. But the key elements of the sound that make it itself are pretty much the fundamental frequency and the harmonics, which are higher than the fundamental frequency. This saw wave has a nice shape in the analyzer, so I'm going to use that to demonstrate filtering. Filter can be turned on or off. This green light means it's on. The low-pass filter, as this little graph kind of indicates, will let through frequencies that are lower than a certain amount, attenuate frequencies that are higher. You have this downward slope. And near the frequency that the cutoff is, it can have a little bump. I'm just going to set the frequency here to, let's say, okay, around 550, and let's watch. So below 550, I'm staying flat as I move up and down. All those were the same height. As I get towards 550, I'm curving down. And above it, I go way down, and you can see that the note is getting a lot quieter as I do that. Now, if I turn up the resonance, we get a slightly different effect. You see, with the resonance turned up, that 550, instead of being power where it's curving down, is now a bump. But above 550 still goes down. And even at the higher frequencies, I'm getting a little bit of that 550 still in the sound. High pass does the opposite of low pass, in that above the cutoff, I'm level. And when I'm below the cutoff, you see it's curving down. So I'm playing a very low note with a high pass. You don't even see the fundamental of the note. You're just seeing the harmonics. And again, high pass can have resonance. So the spectrum analyzer can help you understand why these filters are named what they're named, and how the frequency knob affects things, how the resonance knob affects things. Ultimately, understanding what that does to the sound is going to be up to your ears and hearing what it's doing to the sound. Bandpass, as you might expect from this diagram, is attenuating on both sides. And notch does the opposite of what resonance does. If you turn down the resonance somewhat, notch, I'm flat below 550. Going at 550, it dips down. Above 550 goes up again. 550 just being where this knob happens to be. So that's an explanation of what filtering is as a concept and how the spectrum analyzer can help you understand what you're doing with it. There are a lot of filter options here, but they're all variations on the low pass, high pass, band patch, and notch. All pass is a little weird and technical. You shouldn't need it. It rearranges the waveform without changing anything immediately obvious about the sound in general.